Welcome to Talking Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currencies Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Tim.
Hello.
And this week, we're only going to go 42 minutes.
Please, for the love, please.
Stop it.
Are you guys sure?
You can't jump the gun.
All right. Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have talked about how it's been a running thread here of how obsessed with the Simpsons y'all are.
Yeah.
And me, not so much. I'm trying though. I'm trying.
Seasons 1 through 8 or 9-ish or so. You know?
Okay, well, I think my social media has been listening to you.
Oh.
So my feed alerted me this week of some Simpsons paraphernalia. They suggested that I purchase an 8x10 glossy photo of Homer Simpson at bat with his team of all-star softball players, and all the autographs. It's a thing. Like, this dude got an 8x10 glossy of this
real
photo,
autographs.
and he's actually gone out and gotten Darryl Strawberry, Jose Canseco,
Griffey Jr.
So, like,
Can you name all 9, Tim?
Well, Canseco, Griffey.
So let's start with the outfield. Canseco, Griffey, and
I don't know, fucking outfield or whatever.
Darryl Strawberry.
Darryl Strawberry.
Darryl.
Yep.
Darryl.
All right. So first base.
I don't know the positions.
His sideburns.
Yeah, I don't
Donnie Baseball.
Mattingly.
Mattingly.
Don Mattingly.
Okay, I know
Yeah.
Mattingly.
Second base. Had a run-in with the law.
Now I just looked at it and
He was a Dodger.
think. Oh, right. Saxy.
Steve Sachs.
Steve Sachs.
Sachs?
Yep.
Okay, I wouldn't have gotten
Shortstop.
The Wizard.
Yep.
that one. The Wizard.
Yeah. He does backflips on the diamond. Ozzie Smith.
Oh, Ozzy.
Wizard-
I was going to say
Wizard
it
of
had
Oz.
something to
Yeah.
do with Oz.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ozzy
Wizard of
Smith.
Oz.
Wouldn't have gotten that.
Third base. Got
Wait.
into an argument with Barney at Moe's.
It's funny that
Over the greatest prime minister. And
it's funny that Tim only knows baseball references as they
Yeah, the
relate to
Simpsons,
Simpsons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean Simpsons and Seinfeld, and well, I mean some of the guys are so famous that you hear their names like
Right.
Mattingly and Strawberry.
Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs? Is that
third
the one?
base, yep.
Wade Boggs.
Okay.
Catcher.
I don't know.
Another Dodger.
Another Dodger. Mike Scioscia.
Mike Scioscia.
Scioscia. Okay.
Yeah.
And then pitcher. Clucking like a chicken.
I don't remember who that was.
I don't remember.
Roger Clemens.
Roger
Clemens,
The Rocket.
okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, like dudes our demographic are like going to autograph things, tracking down. This is like a bucket list thing.
Tracking down the 9.
Tracking down the 9.
Nice.
Right? Yeah. And so like
you to shave those sideburns.
right? And like people are like then going out and trying to get the because Mr. Burns and Homer are in it, so they're going to get
Gigantism.
So how many of the players on the team are Hall of Famers?
Ooh, that's a good question. Is Ozzy? Ozzy is.
Yes.
I don't think Donnie is.
Nope.
I don't think Wade is.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he is? Wade is?
Yep.
Strawberry is
Nope.
not, and Rocket is not.
Nope.
Sax is not.
Nope.
Canseco is not.
No.
Yeah, just the two.
No, you're forgetting the best of them by far.
Oh, Griffey. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently that one is the most expensive, toughest to get because he charges like $300
jeez.
to sign something.
Which he should.
Yeah, as he
Because
should.
Ken fucking
That's fair.
Griffey Jr. is the
It's funny though.
the greatest
if you wanna,
baseball player.
If you
want to
start this journey, you can get a kickstart by getting on, Amazon or eBay, and you can get an 8x10 glossy with Jose Canseco's autograph on it. Apparently, he signed like 1,000 of them, and they're just out there
They're just ready
that
to
you
go,
can
huh?
get. And so that's the first one.
How
That's
much is
easy.
that?
I don't know, like $30, something like that. Yeah, do it.
So you could get 3 of those, or Tim, you could get a what?
Wait, what?
A dish.
You could get 3.
See, I kind of know this one.
You could get 3 of those
$30
$30 for
Oh.
$90
Or a candy dish
candy dish.
from Mrs. Glick.
Yep.
See, I don't even know the reference, but you guys are so obnoxious.
dish, Ned.
So obnoxious with your Simpson
$90.
references that even I know that one.
I had tuned out, because the baseball talk, and then he got me back in.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Sorry. There it is. I'm just trying to divert us from the train wreck that is ahead on this episode of Talking Down the Highway.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. All right. Any other rando topics?
Do we have listener updates? We haven't done listener updates in a while.
We're pushing like 4 billion. I think,
yeah. Wow. The masses are listening. They're all tuning in. Because
I haven't really told you guys this, but no, it's kind of taken off a little bit. Like,
wow.
Yeah. No, we've got a pretty good listenership.
Well, I think it's all in anticipation of our potential attendance of. How
did this slip out first off? And you're also now like backing us into a corner.
I just want to go to Bend, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to Bend like 2 weeks before that to go see St. Vincent. So
see, that would be a much more valid reason.
Yeah. So I don't know that this is happening yet.
Well,
like, why? What's in it for us? Our listeners, yes, impressive as our listenership is getting here. I just don't
imagine floating down the river in Bend and a t-shirt cannon shooting into the crowd, talking down the highway t-shirts at the.
Do we have t-shirts?
Beach. No, I don't know.
Do we have a t-shirt cannon?
No.
Do we have a tube to tube down the river?
Say, do we have
there's
any sort of raft or...
Just saying, you guys need to open your minds to the marketing.
How about a potato gun aimed right at Mike Love?
We could go there and hand out just talking down the highway swag.
Yeah, we could be like Hillsborough or the Westboro. Like we could hold up like signs.
No. God hates Mike.
God hates Mike Love.
I mean, that might be cool.
So the only time I've had a run-in with Westboro, at least I think it was, if it wasn't them.
You have a Westboro anecdote?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know for sure that it was them or if it was just another one of their, inspired by.
Right.
Paul McCartney concert.
Really?
Yeah. At Moda. This is like 2017-ish or so. Wow. 2016.
Westboro doesn't like
lefties?
Yeah. They were protesting McCartney.
Interesting.
His hair's too long.
I yelled at them, bigger than Jesus.
Oh, right. Okay.
But, anyway.
That's the name of a B Sharps album.
It is. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway. All right. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll probably be back.
Yeah.
If you hear our voices again, that means we're back. If you don't, that means we decided to have a happier conclusion to our lives than diving into the dreck that is post Love You Beach Boys.
It means we decided to let the summer die.
Yeah. Poetic.
Anyway, to be continued, maybe.
Maybe. ... We'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
On Talking Down the Highway, we're going to discuss the 1980 album Keepin the Summer Alive.
And look, I don't want to spoil anything or start a huge debate, but I do think this is better than the previous album.
Well, I am going to say that the catalog crawl that we reference often suggests otherwise.
Okay.
But ... Let's just kind of get into it, and then we'll maybe have that conversation because over these last couple of weeks, I've really just had to sit and listen to these two records, and there's a little bit more of an A/B between these ones, just like I think there was more of an A/B between some of the others that we've talked about.
Yeah.
That maybe when Rem and I did the catalog crawl that we didn't necessarily spend as much time with each of these individually,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
maybe we do revise that at some point
Yeah.
in the future, because I would say some of these things have changed.
Yeah, and just for I guess a little context,
Like just real quickly, I was
this goes
I was
into what we're saying.
appalled last time when I looked at our thing, and here we are. We got Light Album at a 5.2, and I'm thinking, how is that any?
Yeah.
that's not above a 5. It's bad.
this album incorporates some older material too, and this is a course correction because the previous one did so poorly, and I don't know. I think they were able to pull out a little bit more good material from underground or whatever, and like come up with a better overall product.
Well, and Brian is at
He's
least
more involved.
a presence on this one.
Yeah,
Whether or not he's really truly operating at anything near peak what he could have in 1980, he's still here,
Right.
at least, which we really can't say for the last one.
There was a little anecdote from Carl where he says that there were a few days when Brian was like all of a sudden just clear-headed and really into it and like excited about the recording process, the producing process, but then all he wanted to do was covers of rock and roll songs. So they kind of put Bruce back in charge as producer.
Serious.
I have another note. What do they have against the letter G? There's a lot of anapostrophes here.
Yeah, there were on the last one too.
Keepin, Darlin'.
Oh, but yeah,
Livin'.
you're right.
A lot.
Going.
This one, in the end, it did go higher in the charts. It peaked at 75. This was the final album that had anything to do with Dennis because he passes away a couple years from now.
And even then, it's very limited.
Like, I don't know if you saw the same thing on Rate Your Music, but the only credit that I see for Dennis is the bass drum on Endless Harmony.
Yeah,
But it's like
Endless Harmony. But I thought,
But there's a drum kit there. There's snare and stuff, but he's only credited for bass drum. I don't know. He left. Like, he was not into this. He basically walked out and said, "Fuck you guys." He didn't want to be involved.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know.
Randy Bachman co-wrote a bunch of the songs with Carl.
On Rate Your Music, one of the descriptors, my favorite descriptor for this album is soft. This album is soft.
Yes and no.
Soft.
There's some pretty coked out moments, which
it's yacht rock. It's soft.
I feel that way more so about Light Album, but
Yeah, I would agree.
Dennis apparently was having personal issues.
Personal issues.
Bruce,
He's got all kinds of personal issues.
I forget what track it is, but Ricky Vittar played drums on one track, and Bruce didn't like it because there was some other drummer that he thought was better, and he was, I don't know.
Bruce.
Shut up, Bruce.
So I don't know. Things seem a little bit less chaotic here going into this, but they're still fractured.
Oh yeah.
You still got Bruce at the controls. Still
Why
have
is
like
Bruce producing?
Dennis is not
any of
involved.
these?
Brian is a little bit more present, but mostly like they pull a lot of older.
We could just let that as why is Bruce?
Why is Bruce Bruce? Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Why is he the way that he is? Do we need him?
It's I think even going into it, there's just a little bit more optimism.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah. Shout out to Apple Music, because this last couple weeks, as I was listening to the last couple albums, I was listening to the Light Album and Keepin the Summer Alive. I do not have these like saved into my library on Apple Music. So every time I was going out and was like, I should probably listen to it again. It wouldn't pop up in Apple Music. I had to I tried searching LA album, Light Album, Keepin the Summer Alive.
Apple Music is
Apple Music's like,
we know you don't
sure?
really.
Are you sure? I had to go through to the Beach Boys, click all albums, even though I listened to it.
Did it ever throw up like a crisis line phone number?
Right? Like, are you sure? Like a connect, or
people
are you
care
sure?
about you,
right?
Wow, that's funny,
right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks Apple Music, I guess.
I
for
guess,
that.
yeah. Why is Caribou listed as part of partial label on here? I have it. I see Brother, Caribou, and CBS.
Yeah. What does this have to do?
Well, Caribou is like Dennis's thing.
Chicago. It's owned by James Guercio.
Yeah.
Guercio, who also owns Caribou Ranch.
produced some
was the
of
manager
these,
of
right?
Chicago, the band Chicago. I don't know.
Right, well.
All right.
cares?
Well, yeah. So here we got Beach Boys have entered the 1980s.
Yeah, that's right.
And, that's exciting, right? I mean, come on. They're in the 80s now. They made it. All of them intact.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
I
true.
mean, and
Barely.
you got the six member classic, I guess you could say, going all the way back to that album that we called Dias de Verano y Tamberian sus noches. And here they are, all six of them, still intact, still alive, and making a record in the 80s. It's got to be good.
Was that Dennis knocking on the bottom of the boat?
Too soon.
Show some class. Show some
Anyway,
tact
let's
here.
talk.
It's a sensitive, delicate subject.
Let's just talk about 9/11. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
get back to a safe topic like that.
Exactly. Let's get back to a time when we can all just believe again. Something like that.
Summertime.
Yeah, let's do that. Should we talk about the album cover?
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a way to
segue,
transition
yeah.
into it, but I don't.
Hey, you know what? It
I
sounds like
can.
time for an episode of Sound of Vision.
That's a segue.
All right, Sound of Vision, we'll discuss all things aesthetic using scale provided to us by David Bowie. Glenn, if we really like something, we'll call it a... Low. The hell was that? That's right, David Bowie's masterpiece, Low. Tim, if we don't like something, we call it a...
Never let me down.
Is that lower than lower?
I guess.
Never Let Me Down, in which David Bowie definitely let us down.
Yeah.
And if we're okay on it, we're like, whatever, it's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. We call it Let's Dance.
Let us dance.
Yeah, David Bowie's okayest album.
Yeah, let's.
Bangers up front, but, you know, other than that, it's pretty okay. All right, album cover. Keepin the Summer Alive.
Conceptually, it's great
No, it's not.
because listen. Basically, it depicts the Beach Boys in Antarctica, I believe.
It does definitely have
Although
an Antarctic look to it.
There are both, I forget, do polar bears and penguins coexist? I don't remember.
I feel like polar bears are North Pole and
yeah.
Antarctica. I mean, penguins are definitely South Pole.
I don't know.
anyway,
When I first saw
they-
this, I thought that was a buzzard, like waiting to eat their rotting corpses.
But on the back, there's like a whole little
Yeah.
trail of penguins that are
Right.
marching towards.
They're coming to see the show.
yeah, exactly.
So-
I'm just saying, look again. It looks like a buzzard. It looks like a scavenger.
The Beach Boys are in a bubble, a glass bubble that even has like climate control
yeah, that's a nice
machinery
touch.
on the outside.
Yep.
And where they're standing is sand. And they're dressed for the summer. It's a sunny, sandy day inside the bubble. And they're surrounded, meanwhile, by snow and ice in Antarctica. It's like they've been banished to the frozen wastes, and they're being kept alive in this bubble of summer. And so, like, it again is like pretty literal, like some of the things on the last album cover, "Keepin the Summer Alive."
Could it be more
But
literal?
There are those little touches,
hey.
like the heating units or whatever.
Yeah.
And the animals, like, watching them, like, did the animals put them there? Or the animals, is it like a zoo where the Beach Boys are on display and the animals are there, bringing their
reverse
kids,
zoo.
like the penguins on the back, like, come on, kids, we're going to the Beach Boys zoo. We're going to take a look at them.
Yeah.
Is
See
this,
the balding front man.
is this revenge?
Oh, wait,
for the
no,
pet,
he's got a hat on.
That's right. Is this revenge for the Pet Sounds photo session?
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
There's a lot going on here.
Okay.
And
So you're saying this is the anti-pet sound.
I guess.
We'll get to the anti-pet sounds.
And like, honestly, artwork wise, the actual quality of the painting, I think, is really good. And it's almost like a political cartoon or something. It's like it feels like it was created by someone who was not a fan or was a fan of their previous, stuff. And here they feel like they're just like a relic that needs to be preserved or something like that.
Oh,
So much symbolism.
There's a lot going on.
Is that little thing, that little tent that Brian's under? Is that an homage to his piano in the sand tent?
Oh, must be.
He's got the piano.
Yeah. I mean,
in
it's
the tent
on
where he
some
ate
kind of
sandwiches.
Umbrella, right?
I mean, it's an umbrella, but yeah.
Yeah, the piano's not actually in the sand. The piano, unfortunately, is on a riser.
On top of some. Yeah, it's like, I guess it's a box, but it's in a little bordered thing. There's a top hat on the ground. I don't know whose top hat that is.
Yeah,
I think that's a light.
yeah, that's what I thought too. Because there's other ones
you're right.
kind of around the edge. Yeah, I initially thought that was a
disappointed.
top hat too. But
It's a scantily clad woman.
like, hey, Mike, you can class it up and wear
Yeah.
a top hat instead of that stupid baseball hat you're always wearing.
They brought a honey, I believe, is what
Is that a honey?
a honey. They brought her along on a little beach towel.
Yeah, it is.
An audience of one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of those polar bears looks like it wants to eat Dennis.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah, there's some beach surfboards there. Anyway, I give it a low.
Yeah,
Did I convince you guys?
I mean, all that symbolism. I was like, oh, I like that penguin on the front, and I like the little march of penguins on the back, because I like penguins.
Penguins are cool.
Not the hockey team, because fuck Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby, but yeah, I like that. I like polar bears too.
Stop it, you
Polar bears are
guys!
great.
This is awful. This is awful. This is like the most despicable. Like, this reminds me, if they have not already been so clear that they are so desperate to maintain some semblance of their past success, if they're trying to somehow crystallize, like, if they could freeze Brian Wilson's genius brain and study it, they would. They would capture him in a glass bubble if they could. They would milk him if they could.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is, if it's
But they're all
not
in a bubble.
abundantly clear, this is them trying so desperately to maintain what glimpse of success they had.
That's
Glenn,
why
don't
I
you
like-
believe in summer?
That's why I like the cover, because it has that like almost desperation to
It's
it, or
so desperate. It's so
it goes
sad.
back to the symbolism of like,
Oh, it's so sad.
if
It makes
only,
me angry.
like, it's like if only this were true, this scenario where like they could be, resilient and safe from any sort of like, say this is a climate apocalypse, but they're still the Beach Boys because that's all they have, and they're trying to cling on to it. I don't know. The only negative
So
thing I could say is
desperate.
that I think the one that's supposed to be Bruce Johnston is his head is way too small.
Oh, yeah,
it's almost like they made it small on purpose.
Took a little bit of
scale.
artistic liberties with that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how did they get into the bubble?
Right? Was it just like a teleportation or
they
something?
tunnel?
Yeah, and then that begs the important question of, will they ever be able to get out of the
Right.
bubble?
Well, see, maybe it is a climate apocalypse situation because maybe this was the beach at some point, and they got into the bubble when they figured things were going south. And then by the time we see them here on this cover, Southern California is a frozen wasteland.
Okay.
But within the bubble, there's still sand because that hasn't been frozen over because it's in the bubble.
I also
Those San Pedro
now,
Mountains there in the
Yeah.
background.
now that we're like diving deep and deep into this, like thinking about all of this, they did warn us about this on their last album. There was a song called "Going South,"
Ooh.
and we were like, "Oh, it's kind of forgettable," but maybe there was something to that. They're going to Antarctica.
To live out their days
Yeah.
with the polar bears.
Hey, it's a living, right?
And it's a low.
Yeah. I don't know that I agree, but I'm going to support it.
Okay.
I'm going to support it much more than Glenn's cynical, jaded.
This is so depressing. This cover just makes me
Fine, it's a low. It's a low.
angry.
And I'm not just doing that to support Tim. I'm doing it because
People don't understand your irony, your sarcasm.
This is not sarcastic.
Yes,
No.
it is. It's
There's no
awful.
irony
Great.
present here.
Great classic. I'm going to frame it, put it up on my wall.
I think it would make a good. I think it would make a good T-shirt, like not out of context completely, but you get this design, this picture without the logo, even though the logo is really subtle, just no text at all, just this like image of the Beach Boys in a reverse snow globe. It's just kind of a weird.
It needs to be
like
one of those
there's a
full
commentary in there.
surrounding T-shirts. So like the back of the
Right.
shirt has to be
With
the
the other
penguins on the
penguins.
back,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the sleeves have to still carry out the polar landscape, you know,
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, okay. Let's make it happen. All right.
I might wear that T-shirt.
No, you don't get to. You called it a Never Let Me Down. You don't get the T-shirt.
I don't think he even rated it as Never Let Me Down. I think it's just like below the scale for you.
Yeah, it is off the scale.
No. All right. We're like 26 minutes in, and we haven't even started talking
Good.
about
I don't want to talk about the music. Don't make
We're
me.
going to take a break. We'll be right back.
And we're back to talk about the music. I guess we got to talk about the A side of Keepin the Summer Alive.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't die already.
Is Dauber listed in the personnel?
Dauber's voice. Oh my god.
Actually, it is the syllable is more of a duh, isn't it? It's like duh. Yeah. So
So they basically just... Did they sample their Louie Louie cover?
I guess so. But yeah, that's the track one, Keepin the Summer Alive, the title track. It's dumb. Ice cream weather.
Yeah, and not only does he say ice cream weather, but it's multiple times.
Right.
Like, if it's once, it's like, okay, fine,
It
whatever.
feels like maybe a callback to the root beer stuff, but it's dumb.
Yeah, come on.
There's a little bridge that's kind of nice. I have a note. I don't remember what the bridge is, but okay.
My note here is what a fucking mess of a song. It's just unappealing. It's just ugly and claustrophobic. And Joe fucking Walsh is on it for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which gross, but yeah.
And this is a Carl Bachman joint. Unfortunately.
Carl,
Not
come
great.
on, man. I mean, we've elevated you to a 4.5.
His back
Wait,
problems
like Joe
must have just
Walsh
been
of the
really.
Eagles?
Yes.
Joe Walsh? Oh.
Yeah.
Let's just say Carl's back hurt when he wrote this.
My head hurts when I listen to it. Yeah, it sucks. Hate the song.
All right, track 2.
All right.
Oh, darling, but not oh, darling. This is a different one.
Oh.
This is a Brian and Mike co-written effort with Carl and Mike singing. My note, what is it? My note, kind of not bad is my note.
It sucks.
I had to go back before
found you.
just before we sat down, even though I listened to it like earlier today.
Mike's verse is so
and
bad.
yesterday, before we went on the air, I had to go back and listen to the first couple seconds of each song so I could remember which song was which.
I think it's like kind of inoffensively catchy, but not. I don't know, kind of very neutral for me.
It for me, it's like it's bad, and then it gets into the like fade out where they reference "God Only Knows."
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and to me that just like really just emphasizes how far they've fallen, and it's no.
trying so hard to like hold on, grasping at the past.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's bad.
Yeah, I'm still neutral. So the next song is called "Some of Your Love."
Some summer of love. Some of your love.
See, the thing about this song, I don't know if I like it ironically or if I genuinely like it. It's awful. This is the one that sounds like the most cocaine song ever.
With the saxophone.
Yeah, but it like so what it reminds me of is like early 80s Zappa, specifically the album Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch, which also specifically, I want to clarify this because it's that Zappa album, particularly the first two songs, are really obnoxious and bad. Like the first one's called No
Zappa
Not Now.
songs that are obnoxious and bad. Huh.
See, I like Zappa and I like that era of Zappa, but like the first track, No Not Now, is literally just No Not Now, and then this guy like kind of speaking the verses in between, and then Valley Girl is next, and that's kind of obnoxious too. And this one, the some of your love, just reminds me of that same energy and obnoxiousness and repetitiveness. But like, I don't know, it's so ridiculous that I ended up listening to it over and over, and I think I'm starting to like it. I don't know.
Well, we've talked before about a song that can suck but still be an earworm.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
be a
yeah.
little tomboy,
Right.
So maybe this is just some of that.
I guess so, yeah.
I said my notes. It's not terrible, I guess, but referencing "Kiss Me, Baby" in it only emphasizes how far these guys have fallen. Plus, Daryl fucking Dragon is on it too.
Could you respect the captain, okay?
No, okay. I want him to like be this dragon, like this dude who's half dragon, half Daryl, wearing a tie or something, and he's just some fucking cheesy keyboardist.
Yeah.
Yacht rocker.
He could at least have a brother, and they could both know martial arts.
Yeah,
that would be something.
That I'd even buy a video game.
If there were doubles.
All right, next one is "Living with a Heartache." This is another Carl and Bachman tune.
Yeah,
it's catchy.
Yeah.
This is a song
kind of
that
a
I'm like,
song.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not bad, but it's not a fucking Beach Boys song.
Right.
Like if this were on a Carl solo joint, I'd be like, this
it's
is
like
fine,
Angel Come Home. I think I put them sort of in a similar category.
Yeah,
Not
it's definitely the best
genre-wise.
thing here so far.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best thing here so far. 2 out of 5.
Well,
actually, I have it at a 2.5 on Rating Music.
I think it's pretty good. But then you have School Day, which is a Chuck Berry cover.
Abysmal.
It's another one of those, like, a lot of the times when a cover comes up on their albums, I'm like, what the hell is the point of this? Somehow Al's always involved.
Yeah.
Just like, give me a fucking break. When I first listened to this album and this song first came on, I thought, well, at least they're putting a little bit of that Beach Boys spin on it with all the harmonies. Because a lot of their covers, they don't even bother doing that. But then after the first little bit, the harmonies just become like these weird syllables, like, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, just like they just throw them in there for no reason.
Right.
Whatever.
It's terrible.
I mean, it's a great song, but like, yeah, it's like, what's the point?
Pointless.
They're straight up like rock and roll covers. Just get fucking bad. So there's that Rock and Roll Music, which they covered, and then the Buddy Holly one a couple of albums ago that just really sucked, and this one's just trash.
And again, it's them like really leaning into their past. This is like foreshadowing of Kokomo, Endless Summer, like we're on Baywatch and like Forever Young.
They would never do that.
It's filler.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
Bad.
All right, so this A side is rough.
It's pretty rough.
It's
rough.
fucking rough. Like Living with a Heartache is fine. Some of Your Love, whatever. It's an earworm. But other than that, this A side is trash. Like bad, worst side of a Beach Boys album we've heard so far. Easily. Would you guys agree with that?
Huh. I mean, that's really... I'd have to think about that and kind of go back and look at things, but it's definitely a contender.
I could probably trust you on that one.
Yeah.
Without verifying.
Well, let's take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the B side.
Yay. Hi, this is Talking Down the Highway. We're talking Keepin the Summer Alive. And this is side 2.
Keepin', darling.
We're
living.
Going. Anyway. So we talked about how side A was extremely disappointing and hard to get through.
Trash.
Of all the Beach Boys sides, is this the worst?
Up to this point, I'm going to say yes.
Sure.
Like, up to this point, I'm looking at this album and I'm like, shit, this is like significantly worse than even Light Album.
Keepin' the Summer Alive is bad. School Day is bad. They're just not as offensive as some of the other stuff I've...
Yeah, but I don't know. Just
when Living with the Heartache
sequencing,
is like the highlight easily, it's like, come on.
So, but
Come on,
side
just
B,
quit.
flip side is actually like, I don't know if they did this on purpose in the sequencing, like let's put all the shit on side 1 and the halfway decent stuff on side 2. But that's kind of how it is.
Halfway decent is a little generous.
Oh no, hold on though. So like,
I think there's some good stuff on here.
Yeah, Tim is on to something here. I listened to the records over the course of this weekend, last couple days. But during the week, I was listening to Light Album and this one. I mean, we recorded them on different days. We're definitely not like doubling this up or anything like that. But anyway, on the way to work, basically kept working out Monday through Thursday. On the way to work, I would be able to listen to half of one of the albums. And then on the way home, I was usually listening to a Phillies game or whatever. But anyway, so I heard basically on Monday, I heard the first side of Light Album. Tuesday, I heard the second side of Light Album. Wednesday, first side of this one. Thursday, second side. After Wednesday morning, I'm like, oh my God, this album is so fucking bad. And I just kind of completely 24 hours start over with the second half of this album. Mm-hmm. And by the time I got to work, I was like, you know what? This ain't bad.
Yeah.
Like I can get behind some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and they are two very different sides, I would say.
They really are. And I talked about how they pulled in some older material. I don't really know the extent of that, because like Santa Ana Winds is actually not that old, but it was from like the previous year. Then there's one on here that was like 11 or 12 years old.
When girls get together.
Yeah. I don't know. So, and like I said, Brian, I don't know if I said this yet, but Brian's name is on, I think, all but one track as far as a co-writer.
Oh, wait a minute. Sounds like it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains. Yeah, that's right. It's time for Heroes and Villains. We'll discuss the heroes and the villains. What is it? I'm talking about this weekend. Dang old hero. Wow.
I mean, Brian.
Boomhauer?
The fact that Brian is involved.
Yeah. Brian's engaged. He's maybe not
a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, he's maybe not peak Brian, but he's here. He's back. Kinda.
Yeah.
Sorta. Hero. Fucking hero.
Yeah, you can hear his voice on this album too a little bit. Yeah. Doing some falsetto here.
And Brian's been having some rough times, so we need to make him the clear, definitive hero on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We love you, Brian.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I think our villain is the third verse of the final track.
Yeah, that reminds me. How about
fine.
Let's say no. First off,
how about Joe Walsh?
Yeah, I could see that. 1980. I don't know. Maybe Ronald Reagan.
Oh, there you go.
Villain. Yeah. Yeah.
Daryl Dragon.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Now that I think about this, I'm reminded of the fact Ronald Reagan, who is the guy who basically tries to recast the Beach Boys as a bunch of, Reagan cronies in the 1980s.
Oh.
Mike fucking Love. Of course Mike Love is the villain because fuck Mike Love.
Yep.
Villain,
right.
eternal villain.
Yep.
All right. Good episode. All right.
All right. Track 1. Side B. It's called Going On.
That's what they keep doing.
It's a Brian/Mike joint. I think you can hear Brian singing. It's falsetto, and I think maybe is in there even a little bit on like a kind of a lead on a, I don't know. You can hear him.
This is the highest rated track on Rate Your Music on the album. 2.9.
Oh, wow. Carl, I like his vocal on what I thought was the bridge, but I think might actually be the chorus. But then there's kind of a cheesy sax solo.
Very cheesy, yeah.
But then, like, in the end, I'm like, nah, it's good. I like it. It's fine.
Yeah, my note here is it exists, and then ... until the god-awful sax solo, that is. Because, that kind of derails it, but whatever. It's still better than anything on the first half.
Yeah. Sunshine is the next track. Another Brian and Mike. I have it as catchy.
I have a note here.
I like the triangle.
Okay.
It's like a lot of triangle.
I like the triangle.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not Calypso, because Calypso is all about like I don't know, like the cadence and rhythm of so it's not that, but it's like this like generic island music kind of thing,
Yeah.
And my note here is that it is the whitest thing I have ever heard in my entire life. And that's even before the steel drums come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and Mike's
about
voice
that.
does not help it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just yeah.
Low point of the B-side for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I can't really
nasally.
bring that up in my head as far as what it even sounds like. But okay, so next track is When Girls Get Together, recorded, not just written, but recorded in 1969. There's like mandolin. I like it. It's for me. It's like one of those. It's like a good time situation where that song on "Love You" was from like several years previous. And it stands out as being different. And this is the same way where it's like, oh no, this is actually a good song. Although I'm a little unsure why, because it's just this kind of like repeated melody with different lyrics. It's slow. There isn't really a chorus or anything. It's just kind of like trots along. But I don't know. I like it. It just feels very Brian, I guess.
Yeah, it does. So, I mean, my note on it here is, first off, I had a question, like, is this, because I had read somewhere that Dennis was only on one song, and I thought, well, maybe it's this one, 1969, because he was at least still in the band at that
Apparently
point.
not.
But yeah, apparently I was wrong in that assumption that it's actually, he's playing a bass drum somehow. Yeah. So he can collect his royalties or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But my note here is that it's half great, half terrible. And I don't know necessarily what is great and what is terrible.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because it's a Brian and Mike co-write. And so I'm very tempted to say, okay, the half that's great is Brian and the half that's terrible is Mike. But I want to, be a little more analytical than that, I guess. And to me, it's like, all right, we know if Mike is contributing anything, it's some lyrics. So then you dive into the lyrics of this song. They're fucking weird.
Yeah.
And there's like that whole verse about, saw some elderly lady telling her friends about her great loss. And then some, young kids show up. And it's like this whole circle of life kind of thing.
Okay.
So then my thought is like, context is so fucking weird with this band.
Yeah.
Because if Mike writes that verse, it's trash.
I see.
Right?
Huh.
It's just like, this is just dumb. It's trite and it's trying to be deep and everything. But context also says if Brian Wilson writes this, it's great. It's slice of life. It's endearing. It's a genius, but who can't be a genius in the way in which he uses his words.
Right.
And so he's trying to say something really profound, but he's not like that's never been his strong point. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it's totally just weird context here. Because if Mike writes it, it's trash. If Brian writes that verse, it's great. And I don't know who wrote it.
I don't know.
I'm sure Mike will say that he wrote it.
Right.
So, therefore, I guess it's trash. But if Brian wrote it, then it's great. I don't know.
I don't know.
And
Like I
maybe
said,
this is just me, like, so heavily leaning into the I hate Mike Love thing. But am I onto something here, maybe?
I mean, definitely you have a point as far as that goes. Like, I mean, usually it's easier to tell that Mike has written a line or two,
Yeah.
And in this case, I guess, like you're saying, it's sort of like it's all so bizarre that it could be either one of them. Because I mean, if he was singing about girls or whatever, then or I don't know, you can just usually tell.
Yeah. Well, and we know that Brian gets inspired by I wrote this song about my daughter or whatever, roller skating child, and that there's this weird sort of innocence and everything to it. But then, you hear obviously where that song goes and hearing Mike deliver these weird ass, vocals, and it just completely recontextualizes it. And this song just is very much that, which is kind of refreshing because we actually haven't had anything on a Beach Boys album in quite a while that made us think, all right, well, this is interesting enough to kind of dive into.
Yeah.
These last few albums have just been boring as fuck.
Right.
But
I don't know. Something about the song, like it's catchy. Like it gets kind of stuck in your head, but it's not hooky.
It's because it's got some
meditative
interesting
or
orchestration.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
that I don't know if it's like a dulcimer or zither kind of.
Maybe.
It's got like an Italian, Sicilian kind of.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it's got one of those like chant-like melodies too.
Right,
It just
right.
repeats over and over and over again. It reminds me a lot of like an Animal Collective or Panda Bear song in the sense that it just has that sort of almost like hypnotic chant sort of thing to it. And it's charming. I like it, I guess.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. I gave it a 2.5 when I rated it on Rate Your Music when we did our catalog crawl, but I am right now bumping it up to a 3.
Yeah.
Which, it's fine. All right. Santa Ana wins.
Santa Ana wins. The little Mike Love thing in the beginning. I think that's Mike.
I
Maybe
think it's Al. This is
it Al?
totally this is an Al song. Yeah.
Well, Brian wrote it.
Wait. Really?
Yeah. Let's see. Santa Ana wins.
No, Al.
This
Al.
this is an Al song.
Yeah,
Okay,
Al
I mean,
did the
totally
spoken
an Al song.
word.
Brian and Al both wrote it.
Yeah. Okay.
I want
so it is
your
Al.
thoughts, both of you guys.
I think it's actually pretty good. It could almost fit on Holland with the other like California stuff.
Yeah, I totally said California Saga, especially with the spoken word thing that is sort of a callback. Glenn.
Yeah, and the same thing. Like I was kind of disturbed by the opening. I'm not a
Yeah, you hate spoken word.
yeah,
I didn't
and
mind it. I just thought it sounded like Mike.
Yeah, it's Al.
yeah. Well, and Mike's got a couple parts in there where he's
Yeah, his punctuating lines on the verses are embarrassing.
yeah, pretty brutal.
I wrote if I spelled it right. I don't know, but
Again, it's kind of Eaglesy.
no. Hold on, I will not let you besmirch the name of, as I wrote right here, the genuinely excellent Santa Ana Wins. I like this song. I think it's fucking really good.
Yeah.
It's so charming. It has this warmth to it. It could have fit on the California Saga. In fact, I know I wrote somewhere that it just sounds like it could have fit on Holland, if not for a couple of like production anachronisms or whatever. It's good. Like I really, really like it. And my other note here is nice work, Al. I'm going to call off the lobster for a week for having written the best song, easily the best song here on this album.
Wow.
Yeah. Good song. Well done, Al.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is good. I'm curious what
it didn't leave.
what the songwriting split is though, because
Yeah.
Brian's name is on it as well.
And there's some really nice like tasteful strings that are in there too. So that's probably Brian's work. But yeah. I mean, of course, Brian can work his way around a nice melody. So yeah, no. Al and Brian, good job.
Yeah,
Al, you're safe
for now.
for now.
All right. The album ends with a song called Endless Harmony. And this is a 100% Bruce joint. And I wanted to hate this song, but I like it. It sounds like an elegy for the band, like the Beach Boys are dead now. Let's tell their story. Because that's literally what it is. It's what is the opening line? Ocean lovers who love to sing harmony. It's just all about the band and them coming up. But it has this like, what is that? A Rhodes? Some kind of
I don't know if
keyboard.
it's a Rhodes. Yeah,
Might be a
I mean it's
B3 or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's definitely like an 80s ish sounding.
And there's a little bit of the MASH theme song in there. I thought, kind of like on that Dennis album. And then Bruce's vocal comes in, and he sounds like Bruce. And like I wanted to hate it. I thought like this kind of has a Christmas song vibe to it. But it's also just like a lounge singer singing like remembering his friends or singing about these guys that he knew. It's very like almost seems like it's looking back. It's nostalgia.
Bruce does this weird thing with nostalgia though that I really dislike, in that he is so heavy-handed about it.
Yeah.
Like there's a line where he's talking about mid-60s screaming or something in there. And it's like
yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
But then
But it's like the whole Disney Girls.
I was going to say going back
1957,
to some of his earlier stuff that I have said that I liked, and like I don't know, this is a totally different kind of feel. But
Again, with the snow globe on the cover, it reiterates how desperate they are to try and like, hey, remember when we were cool?
Yeah, but then there's this weird quality of the fact that Bruce is the one writing this song, and he's the one singing the song. And there is that verse where everyone comes in and starts talking about...
We're going to talk about that separately in just a minute.
Right,
Hold
yeah.
that thought, because it's like two different songs.
But yeah, that's why it seems like a eulogy or something like that, you know, like... Which is weird. I don't understand why.
And if that were the case, honestly, like if
It'd
this
be
were
fine.
the last song on the last
We've
Beach
said that
Boys
before,
album,
yeah. It kind of fits.
I could completely accept this as, you know what? All right, this is the nadir or whatever. But like I wrote somewhere, I think probably in the catalog crawl, like if this was how they went out, they would have had no less dignified an ending than like the Kinks or the Who. Like it would have been like, all right, well they made a couple of bad records, but they were not a flat out fucking embarrassment.
Right.
But then there's this last part of the song that there's just a lot to unpack.
I mean,
here.
I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, because I didn't really think about this at all. It's just like, okay, it's a way to kind of have the boys put in their 2 cents and then end the song.
It's so...
What do they say specifically? What is
All right, now
I guess we got to pull it up here now. Endless Harmony.
It's a patriotic, like, we're America's band.
Here, I got it.
And we love the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And
we sang God Bless America. It's a land where we tour. She takes great care of us, and people love us. Is that supposed to say us?
Yeah,
and people love is what it says for where we sing.
We
sing
do.
I mean, you know, do. That's a good song. So we sang God Bless America. It's a land where we tour. That's not really saying anything positive or negative about America.
It's just so bizarre.
It is.
Like, it's because it's so like theatrical, and you can just picture, you know, like the flag like waving behind them and everything.
Sure.
In the catalog crawl here,
But
here's
then
my
the
quote.
Words
here
are meaningless, though.
Here's my quote.
Okay.
If nothing else, check this one out for the bizarre final verse of Endless Harmony, which could only be explained by the time that the band accidentally snorted the ashes of a bald eagle through a rolled-up miniature American flag.
Yeah. But see, if that were the case, though, like you'd think that they would have more substantive things to say about America.
You'd think so,
It's
but
actually
then again,
not very patriotic at all.
It's just stupid.
It's more about them,
which adds a dumb thing to the end of a song that was fine, I guess. But then it just leaves this dumb taste in your mouth, to which leads me to my last note on the song: "Shut up, Bruce. Lobster is on the way." So Al, you're safe. Al, you're safe.
Lobby.
Bruce, sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
Is this the one where the doo-doo-doots come in because it starts to fade out? There was one song on one of these where I noticed like, I think that's when girls get together. That's when girls get together. Yeah. Like they get to the fade out and like they're obviously out of lyrics, so it's just like yeah. All right. I mean, that didn't ruin the song for me. And you know, the bass drum playing on it is really solid.
Stellar.
It is pretty great.
Stellar bass drum.
Yeah.
Literally Dennis's only contribution to the album.
Nailed it.
I guess one.
Oh, well,
one
and he's
note
also
I
on the
had-
cover, you know.
Oh, fair.
How Dennis feels about this album is how I feel about this.
I guess my note on that song also is that I say it's better with headphones. I listened to both of these with the good headphones on, and like, okay.
You know what? I did not listen to this album with good headphones on, and I will not listen to this album with
That's
headphones
fair.
on.
I think that like the organ, whatever kind of organ it is in this last song, I don't know, something about it with headphones, like it kind of gets all vibrating and stuff. I like that.
I'm
the
happy
tone.
for you. I'm happy for
I
you
refuse
that
to
you-
listen to it on one of my better on my better turntable, just because I don't want needle life being wasted on.
Well, but you got to get to that first 50 hours or whatever before it starts to sound really good, right? So that kind of doesn't count, or it helps get towards
Maybe. I don't know.
making the needle better.
All right, well, we got to rate this thing.
Yeah, rating it. What did I do? Stamos.
Yeah, it's a Stamos.
No, not for me.
It's a Stamos.
Well, shit. I mean, I like the whole second half, which means
Do you, though?
that would put it at an exact neutral David Marks. But I also like one song on side one. but it's not a Bruce. I'll give it to David.
It's a Stamos.
I'm going to split the difference with y'all and give it a Wilson Phillips. Okay. Yeah. We made it a 4.2 in the catalog crawl. It came in at number 26 out of 30.
Yeah. See,
so Glenn, if you think that this is bad, you just wait, buddy.
I really can't like. There's no, regardless of how you feel. I mean, there's just no way this is worse than Light Album.
You know, we rated it a whole point less.
I know.
And in listening to them again back to back this week, I just think that maybe I kind of bought into the narrative of a linear decline.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know that is honestly, and Rem and I are going to maybe have to revisit the catalog crawl because I would agree. I think listening to them this week, I would say that Keepin the Summer Alive is a preferable record. Just because at least it ends, its second half is on a decent note.
There's a friggin' snow globe on the cover.
Yeah, that gives it bonus points.
That we've already established that's a low. That cannot be relitigated. You cannot reopen Sound and Vision.
For Matt, that might be like a sarcastic rating, but for me, it's genuine.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm struggling to believe it. Because
That lone penguin standing there just looking at it, I was like, I want to join your band. I fucking love that. Yeah.
You know, one thing about the snow globe is that it has. I think penguins and polar bears do coexist. I just don't know which pole it is, but like they're coming together. Like the Beach Boys are basically preventing the polar bears from killing the penguins. You know, like they're coming together to appreciate whatever spectacle is before them instead of, being slaughtered.
Yeah. And they're like,
they don't coexist.
They don't.
Yeah, they're opposite poles.
Polar bears in the Arctic.
North,
Penguins in this.
Okay, so it's like seals that eat the penguins.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. They're abundant in Antarctica.
Well, the power of the Beach Boys brought polar bears and penguins
brought the poles together
like for the first time.
The world just sort of like turned in on itself.
Oh, man.
And everybody on the outside's just like sitting there saying, play chug-a-log, play chug-a-log. Yeah.
Wow. I guess the polar bears are in the northern hemisphere of the globe, and the penguins in the south.
Yeah. That's that attention to detail that you expect from a Beach Boys album cover.
Okay.
I would equate this album. It is the equivalent of the Phillies dropping 2 out of 3 games to the lowly Rockies. Yeah, there we go.
I don't feel sorry for you. This is. How dare you equate the Phillies to this abomination of an album?
You're right, I guess, yeah. All right. I'm glad you said that too, Glenn. Mm-hmm. All right, so anyway, we're going to take one more break, and we're going to come back and wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Wrapping it all up here. I think it's safe to say that we kept the summer alive. Not Glenn. No thanks to Glenn at all.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any.
Tim and I kept the summer alive.
He was out there with a sledgehammer trying to bust up all the environmental control systems outside the bubble.
He's trying to break that glass and kill Brian Wilson. That's what you're trying to do, Glenn.
I have no more Glenergy to give.
It's all right. We'll be back with some more bangers next week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is
maybe
next?
we do a 2 for next week.
What is
I don't
next?
know. Like we got some solo records coming up.
Ooh,
we got to decide
right?
what's
What are we
next.
doing
Because the next Beach Boys album is the 85.
Yeah, so they take a little while off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what the hell's Dennis up to?
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
I mean, we could do the bamboo stuff.
No.
Nah.
We already talked about it enough.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Guys,
something
guys,
next week.
it's
We'll be
below the
back.
belt.
We'll be back at
Below
some
the
point to
belt.
talk about something Beach Boy related and plenty of things that aren't Beach Boys related. And
Yeah.
that'll be on the next episode of Talking Down the Highway. In the meantime, like, subscribe, do all that stuff that you're supposed to do with podcasts and such.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you then.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.